I must say that I do not understand, for howbeit it is natural to unnatural people, and peculiar unto witchmongers, to pursue the poor, to accuse the simple, and to kill the innocent, supplying in rigour and malice toward others. That is easy, for witches are servants only, and slaves to the devil. For as the servants of God, the public uses to convene for serving of him, so he makes them in great numbers to convene for his service. So none serves Satan, and convenes to the adoring of him, that are not marked with that mark of the devil, for the devil counterfeits God in every way. How can you say they are slaves of the devil's, being able to do his work? This is sincerely against God himself. I have two things against your statement. First, that the glory and power of God are not so abridged and abased as to be thrust into the hand or lip of a lewd old woman, whereby the work of the Creator should be attributed to the power of a creature. Secondly, that the religion of the gospel may be seen to stand without such peculiar trumpery. Always for that part, that witchcraft, and witches have been and are, the former part is clearly provided by the Scriptures, and the last by daily experiences and confessions. The devil has the power to teach his followers different crafts, from healing to hurting. That lawful favour and Christian compassion be rather used towards these poor souls than rigour and extremity, because they which are commonly accused of witchcraft are the least sufficient of all other persons to speak for themselves, as having the most base and simple education of all others, the extremity of their age giving them leave to dote, their poverty to beg, their wrongs to chide and threaten, as being void of any other way of revenge, their humour melancholical, to be full of imaginations, from whence chiefly proceedeth the vanity of their confessions. For if the magistrate be slothful toward them, God is very able to make them instruments to waken and punish his sloth. But if he be the contrary, he according to the law of God, and allowable law of nations, will be diligent in examining and punishing them. God will not permit their master to trouble or hinder so good a work. And the devil, he being the enemy of man's salvation, uses all the means he can to entrap them so far in his snares. He uses the three passions, curiosity, revenge, and poverty. For there is no kind of persons so subject to receive harm of the devil as these that are of infirm and weak faith. Those of the frailer sex, meaning women, makes it easier to be entrapped in these gross snares of the devil, as was proved to be true of the serpents deceiving Eve at the beginning. Also, concerning your theory of melancholy, any that pleases physically to consider upon the natural humour of melancholy, according to all the physicians that ever write thereupon, they all find that that will be overshort a cloak to cover their knavery with. For as the humour of melancholy in the self is black, heavy, and terrene, so are the symptoms thereof in any persons that are subject thereunto, leanness, paleness, desire of solitude, and if they come to the highest degree thereof, more folly in many, whereas by the contrary, a great number of them that ever have been convicted or confessors of witchcraft, as may be presently seen by the main that have at this time confessed, they are by the contrary, I say, some of them rich and worldly wise, some of them fat or corpulent in their bodies, and most part of them altogether given over to the pleasures of the flesh, continually haunting of company, and all kind of merriness, both lawful and unlawful, which are things directly contrary to the symptoms of melancholy, whereof I spake. Further experience daily proves how loath they are to confess without torture, which witnesseth their guiltiness, whereas by the contrary, the melancholies never spare to belie themselves by their continual discourses, feeding thereby their humour in that which they think no crime. I therefore at this time do only desire you to consider my report concerning the evidence that is commonly brought before you against them. See first whether the evidence be not frivolous, and whether the proofs brought against them be not incredible, consisting of guesses, presumptions, and impossibilities, contrary to reason, scripture, and nature. See also what persons complain upon them, whether they be not of the basest, the unwisest, and most faithless kind of people. No sex, age, or rank shall be exempted in the execution of these witches, none at all, for it is the highest point of idolatry, wherein no exemption is admitted by the law of God. Even so ought we boldly to go forward in fighting against the devil without any great terror, for these his rarest weapons, nor for the ordinary whereof we have daily the proof.